David says, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go to the house of the Lord. He didn't need to know who the preacher was, didn't need to know who the choir that was going to sing was. He didn't need to know which deacon was greeting at the door. All he knew was, when I show up at the house of God, there are some things that happens in the house of God that doesn't happen in my house. Can I get an amen out there? So David says, just leaving my house for God's house, I know something special is going to happen. Somebody say amen. We just worship. You can't come to church and go home without some sweat. Somebody say amen. You can't come into the presence of God. Some of us are too dignified to be saved. See, God is not looking for dignified children. He's looking for dynamic children. You can't be in the presence of God if you can shout in a soccer field. Ain't no way you can be so dignified, so collected in the presence of God. Even angels cannot behave in the presence of God. They scream to one another, holy, holy. They don't know how to behave themselves. And Isaiah says, as they shout, holy, holy, the Hebrew says, it hosts God. In other words, God is already sitting on a high place, but when they shout, holy, it hosts God. That's not my temptation to preach here today. This conference is not for me to preach, but for me to teach. Somebody say amen. Come back for a preaching session. No, I ain't going to do that.